Hi, my name is Catherine, and I'm about to do something that is long overdue. So, July last year, 2024, I got an invite from my school to give a speech, and I did, and it was awesome, but I never posted about it. So, I'm you're about to see clips of it, but the audio from that time wasn't so clear. So I'm going to try doing a voiceover, just trying to match it together. Okay, let's go.
To me, she approached me some years back to say that she wanted to be an editor, and now she's doing an amazing job. Someone recommended her. I didn't even know. Someone recommended her, and I didn't know that she was the same girl that came to me, that approached me some years ago. So when I saved her number in my phone, her name came out, and I called her. Thank you for coming.
She's the digital content creator, writer, founder of Ẹniìtàn, an agency dedicated to amplifying African narrative through digital platform. Welcome, Catherine Okunala. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. I thought he was calling me on the but not my back. An honor to be here. I'm grateful to God and the amazing Mrs. AK for the privilege. My name is Catherine, and I'm here to speak with you in line with our theme, Salvaging Africa Through Literature on Digital Content Creation. Amongst other things, I am a writer and author, and I run my agency called Ẹniìtàn, meaning the one with stories to tell. Before I go deeper about my brand, let me tell you a little story of how I found myself in the world of digital marketing / digital content creation. Now, this was one of those things that chose me, and this story started about 5 years ago. Picture a hungry 19-year-old girl with two of her friends in Mavis, seated, waiting for the meal her friend had paid for, as they brainstormed business ideas for this broke young girl. Do not be mistaken, I wasn't trying to be industrious, I just wanted to not be broke, My phone was always either getting spoiled or getting stolen, and I didn't have the money to always replace it or to always fix it. Most times, it was me and my tonosobe. Not that there's anything wrong with tonosobes, by all means, please. So there we were, and ideas for Catherine's business were flying about. What if you start selling hair? I looked at the friend who had suggested this like he had grown two heads. Pass.
Do you know who you're talking to? I'm going to socially awkward, introverted, socially anxious, and everything. To be talking to people just like I really want to say, I have to walk in the background, talking to people just like I said. It was a nightmare. It was an action, right? So I told them that I was interested in that. We thought, and I think we had just gotten exhausted when I said,
what if I did assignments and literary works for people? I said, shy, hesitant, unsure. But my friends picked it up with such excitement. I had found something that suited my skills so perfectly. I'm not sure if they had just gotten tired of me shutting down all their ideas, or they were just happy we had found something that worked perfectly for me.
so either way, they went out of their ways and they encouraged me to start. Now I don't remember the details, but I know I searched on apps that could also create the logo, and I found Canva. But then I didn't know Canva, just myself. And I created things like, my brand name is Cassie Edits. I write, I edit, I do this, I do that. And then one of my friends who's a graphic designer, so I was like, trying to help him. So he helped me create brand assets, logos, logos, everything. And so I sent it out the word about Cassie Edits.
Cassie Edits soon became known, and the services began to expand. I went from wanting to edit assignments and literary works to creating CVs, to creating copies for brand social media pages. There was a tiny problem though. The brands that were coming to me did not want my service to stop at copywriting. They wanted a social media manager too. I hated everything about the idea of social media management, and so I fought it. I would tell brands I was a copywriter, not a social media manager. But the more I fought, the more it came up. Future me was probably like, they play, you ain't go to set up agency. I got my first full-time job in 200 level 2019. It had started with just copywriting and website content creation, but it soon evolved as all jobs I want to do, and I started doing the social media management I hated. Now this is where I'm going in the story. The more I worked, the more I observed that there was a high demand in the corporate field for storytellers like myself. They just never called it storytellers then. They called it copywriter, social media manager, or even content creator. But at the end of the day, they were looking for people with the skills I had: creative writing, storytelling abilities, creative thinking, analytical thinking, and so on. I struggled with this at first because from my perspective, I wanted to do creative work. Nothing more, nothing less. I was a student of English. I had my mindset. I refused to see that this need, this gap, needed to be filled by me, by people like me. But soon, after small sessions with Sapa, I started shifting my paradigms and opening myself to other opportunities that came my way. I started welcoming the idea of being everything that I could be, and as the opportunities came to shine, I took them. And guess what? I have only just begun. In 2020, Cathy Edits had rebranded to Express It, and in 2021, Express It published our first anthology, tagged Omo, What Happened to 2020? A collection of stories, poems, and even artworks telling the 2020 story from the perspective of several Nigerians. In 2024, Express It rebranded to Ẹniìtàn, the one with stories to tell, and we held our first virtual training for aspiring social media managers and content creators. We also published an ebook, The ABCs of Social Media Content Creation and Management, a perfect guide for everyone who was looking to start a career in the field. At the end of the day, here's what I'm driving at. In salvaging Africa through literature, let us as individuals or groups, not in our attempt to amplify our literature, ignore or reject the other platforms for the amplification of our stories, the amplification of our creativity. In today's world, there are no limits to the expression of our stories. You can write a book, you can make a film, you can shoot a short video, you can start a podcast, you can be anything and everything you choose to be. Our world no longer limits us, so why do we limit ourselves? Why do we say to ourselves, thus far and no further? Why do we draw lines and cage ourselves in? I have chosen not to limit myself, as you can see, even from my brand's name. I have stories to tell. If you come to me as an individual telling me to tell your story, whether you need my ghostwriting services or you need my content creation or social media management services, I did for you. If you come to me as a brand and you need copywriting, social media content creation, social media management, website content creation, or digital marketing as a whole, we did for you. What I have simply done is found my ikigai, as I once learned. I have found the perfect sweet spot between what I love doing, my passion, what the world needs, my mission, and what I can be paid for, my vocation. And when you're in your ikigai, you get unexpected invites like coming to speak at your school. If I can do this, anyone can. Students and graduates of English, when you ask our lecturers, what can we do with English? And they say everything. Guess what? They do not lie. You can do anything. Anyone can. Finally, before I leave you, when I told my dad about this event and how nervous I was, he made me recite a quote from Aquila and the Bee out loud. And I'm going to recite it to you all here.
You know it, please to say to me, if you are not basis. Our defense here is not only an place. Our defense here is that we are powerful beyond. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? We're not to make marketed of the world that is within us. And as we let our light shine, we are conscious to give our affirmations to the same. Your light is yours, let it shine. Thank you.